under duress and due to a lot of you people supporting her in this, I'm reading a bedtime story on Christmas Eve. And I apologize, this is not a hockey-related bedtime story. I have not cracked open either of the cans that I showed you in the previous video either. It was late one fall in Halloween land, and the air had quite a chill. Against the moon a skeleton sat alone upon a hill. He was tall and thin, with a bat bow tie. Jack Skellington was his name. He was tired and bored in Halloween land. Everything was always the same.
You have to show the pictures. Shannon.
This is going to take a while.
Did they get to see the picture?
Yes, they saw the picture.
Okay.
My director is telling me how to tell the story. I am sick of the scaring, the terror, the fright. I'm tired of being something that goes bump in the night. I'm bored with leering my horrible glances, and my feet hurt from dancing those skeleton dances. I don't like graveyards, and I need something new. There must be life, more to life than just yelling boo. And now all the Who's in Who Town were nervously strumming.
No.
Isn't that the one?
You're messing up the story.
Okay. Because that's what I thought happened. Then out from the grave with a curl and a twist came a whimpering, whining, spectral mist. It was a little ghost dog with a faint little bark and a jack-o'-lantern nose that glowed in the dark. It was Jack's dog, Zero, the best friend he had, but Jack hardly noticed, which made Zero sad. So there's Zero the dog. He was killed by Santa Claus. All that night and through the next day, Jack wandered and walked. He was filled with dismay. There's Jack with dismay. Thought he was with his dog, but he's with dismay. Then, deep in the forest, just before night, Jack came upon an amazing sight. Not 20 feet from the spot where he stood, with three massive doorways carved in wood. He stood there before them completely in awe, his gaze transfixed by one special door. Entranced and excited with a slight sense of worry, Jack opened the door to a white, windy flurry. Now imagine if he'd opened the other one into, like, Valentine Land. I just would have thrown the whole story out. Okay, so there's him falling into... Looks like from Evil Dead, where the car goes through. Jack didn't know of it, but he'd fallen down in the middle of a place called Christmas Town. Immersed in the light, Jack was no longer haunted. He had finally found the feeling he wanted. And so, as his little friends wouldn't think him a liar, he took the present-filled stockings that hung by the fire. He took candy and toys that were stacked on the shelves, and a picture of Santa with all of his elves. He took lights and ornaments and the star from the tree. And from the Christmas Town sign, he took the big letter C. He picked everything up that sparkled or glowed. He even picked up a handful of snow. He grabbed it all, and without being seen, he took it all back to Halloween. There you go. Being the Grinch. Doing the Grinchy things. Taking the stuff. Back in Halloween, a group of Jack's peers stared in amazement at the Christmas souvenirs. For his wondrous vision, none were prepared. Most were excited, though a few were quite scared. What's this? What's this? It's all like kind of this. For the next few days, while it lightning and thundered, Jack sat alone and obsessively wondered, why is it they get to spread laughter and cheer while we stalk the graveyard spreading panic and fear? Well, I could be Santa and I could spread cheer. Why does he get to do it year after year? Outraged by injustice, Jack thought and thought. Then he got an idea. Yes, why not? In Christmas Town, Santa was making some toys when through the din he heard a soft noise. It was a gunshot ringing through the air. It was Jack. He was there. He was there. Blood spattered all over.
No.
He answered the door, and to his surprise, he saw weird little creatures in strange disguise. They were altogether ugly and rather petite. As they opened their sacks, they yelled trick or treat. Then a confused Santa was shoved into a sack and taken to Halloween to see Mastermind Jack. I think my ideas.
No ad-libbing.
But there's more Tarantino in my version.
No ad-lib.
In Halloween, everyone gathered once more, for they'd never seen a Santa before. And as they cautiously gazed at the strange old man, Jack related to Santa his masterful plan. I plan to kill you, Mr. Claus. Yes, I do. My dear Mr. Claus, I think it's a crime that you've got to be Santa all of the time. But now I will give presents and I will spread cheer. We're changing places. I'm Santa this year. It is I who will say Merry Christmas to you, so you may lie in my coffin, creak doors, and yell boo. And please, Mr. Claus, don't think ill of my plan, for I'll do the best Santa job that I can. And though Jack and all his friends thought they do a good job, their idea of Christmas was quite macabre. And Santa really thought he was a slob. Kind of a knob, too. They were packed up and ready on Christmas Eve day when Jack hitched his reindeer to his sleek coffin sleigh. But on Christmas Eve, as they were about to begin, a Halloween fog slowly rolled in. Jack said, "We can't leave, this fog's too thick," and that is the end. There will be no Christmas and I can't be Saint Nick. Then a small glowing light pierced the fog. It was Rudolph. The red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. What could it be? It was Zero, Jack's dog. Jack said, "Zero, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight?" He really said that?
Just read the book.
Does he know he's copyright infringing? Okay. And to be so needed was Zero's great dream, so he joyously flew to the head of the team. And as the skeletal sleigh started his ghostly flight, Jack cackled, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." And then there's the dead reindeer. Poor dead. Did he have to skin them all?
Shannon.
'Twas the nightmare before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was peaceful, not even a mouse. The stockings all hung by the chimney with care, when opened that morning would cause quite a scare. The children all nestled snug in their beds, would have nightmares of monsters and skeleton heads. The moon that hung over the new fallen snow cast an eerie pall over the city below, and Santa Claus's laughter now sounded like groans, and the jingling bells like chattering bones. And what to the wondering eyes should appear but a coffin sleigh with skeleton deer, and a skeletal driver so ugly and sick they knew in a moment that can't be Saint Nick. From house to house with a true sense of joy, Jack happily issued each present and toy. From rooftop to rooftop he jumped and he skipped, leaving presents that seemed to be straight from a crypt. Unaware that the world was in panic and fear, Jack merrily spread his own brand of cheer. There's the vampire teddy. Nice, friendly vampire teddy.
I like the vampire teddy.
I know you do. He visited the house of Susie and Dave, then got a Gumby and Pokey from the grave. Then on to home of little Jane Neiman. She got a baby doll possessed by a demon, a monstrous train with tentacle tracks, a ghoulish puppet wielding an axe, a man-eating plant disguised as a wreath, and a vampire teddy bear with very sharp teeth. There's all the fun stuff. All those children died. And it's
Shannon.
just all these murderous toys.
Shannon.
It's like Krampus.
Shannon.
There were screams of terror, but Jack didn't hear it. He was much too involved with his own Christmas spirit. Jack finally looked down from his dark, starry flights, and he saw the commotion, the noise, and the lights. Why, they're celebrating. It looks like such fun. They're thanking me for the good job that I've done. But what he thought where fireworks meant his goodwill were bullets and missiles intended to kill. Then amidst the barrage of artillery fire, Jack urged Zero to go higher and higher. And away they all flew like a storm of a thistle until they were hit by a well-guided missile. And as they fell on the cemetery way out of sight was heard, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." There's Jack getting fired at. It's terrorists. Jack pulled himself up. What's up? Hi.
No, just read the story.
I am reading the story.
You
I'm sprinkling my wisdom on the
No,
story.
It
Yes.
does not need your wisdom.
Needs a lot of wisdom.
No.
Jack pulled himself up on a large stone cross, and from there he reviewed his incredible loss. Never has a man hung on a
No.
cross. Okay.
Shannon.
I thought I could be Santa. I had such belief. Jack was confused and filled with great grief. Not knowing where to turn, he looked toward the sky. Then he slumped on the grave and started to cry. And as Zero and Jack lay crumpled on the ground, they suddenly heard a familiar sound. So
I
there's
actually see the picture.
Jack. They can see it. I can see the camera. Just relax. My dear Jack, said Santa, I applaud your intent. I knew wreaking such havoc was not what you meant. And so you are so sad and feeling quite blue, but taking over Christmas was the wrong thing to do. That's why I must kill you.
Shannon.
I hope you realize Halloween's the right place for you. There's a lot more, Jack, that I'd like to say, but now I must hurry for it's almost Christmas Day. Then he jumped in his sleigh and with a wink of his eyes, he said Merry Christmas and bid them goodbye. Jack froze to death out in the tundra. Back home, Jack was sad, but then, like a dream, Santa brought Christmas to the land of Halloween. There's snow. Now, of course, they're not designed to handle snow in Halloween Town.
No.
So,
Shut it.
that's the end. I am shutting it. The book is finished.
You don't need to add to the story.
I need to add to the story because it's fantastic the way I'm telling it.
Tammy's book for it.
This was the Quentin Tarantino edit.
No one.
There you go. And with my wreath-covered police box shirt, I bid everyone a good night and a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays and all that other crazy stuff. And I still think the Tarantino edit would have worked.
No.
I think it would have worked really well.
Christmas.
I think a Tarantino version of Home Alone would be amazing too.
Absolutely not.
Okay. There you go. Non-hockey related bedtime story. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're wondering what the heck's going on a hockey channel with this. And hey, I will talk to you guys again soon.